Hello everyone, welcome to week 5 of our kindergarten class. Just some reminders that homework's due every Friday. It would be the packet reading log and this book right here. I didn't write it for it, so that way they can read it in class to Mr. Sanchez and I. They're going to be bringing that back on Friday, but the folders come back daily. Word rings will go back tomorrow. If your kid is still working on the green letters, then they need to work on the letter names. If it's yellow, that would be letter sounds. Scholastic books orders are due on Wednesday, so if you still want to, you may go to the scholastic.com/book clubs and activate your parent account. And I want to thank Lucas, Sadie, and Hector because they earned enough money, or we got enough money to get a book for each kid in the class, so yay! If you're available this Thursday, we need somebody to help volunteer. That helps us in our morning centers especially, so let me know if you're available. I wanted to include here that next week is Apple Week, so we do a lot with apples. We graph them, we taste them, we talk about the same but different. So you'll be asked to bring in one apple. It can be any kind, yellow, green, or red. I'll have some extras just in case, but by next Tuesday. So they can bring them in on Monday or on Tuesday morning, and we're gonna cut them up, look at the parts of the apple, and do different activities with that, especially because it's the beginning of fall. So I just wanted to highlight that, so if you're doing your shopping this weekend, make sure to grab an apple. Important dates. We had a lot of birthdays, so happy birthday to Lily, Timothy, Lucia, and this Thursday is Camden's birthday. On PE, for PE, I just wanted to remind you that it needs to be both the PE shirt and the PE shorts on Tuesday and Thursday, but on Thursday they can wear their Peace Builder shirts if they have it, and that's on Friday as well. Just some normal things, but PTO meeting for everybody is on this Thursday from 6 to 8. I believe they'll have childcare, so make sure you're there. What we're learning this week, we're talking about religion. So God talks to us in the Bible through church and through those who care for us. We discussed that the Bible is the Word of God or Holy Scripture, and that ways that we can hear God might be through the Bible stories, and we learn different things through that. I have their placemats, and those will go home later this week. And they came home with different things that talked about sharing the good news of God and what the Bible is. Super Kids this week, I have a new Super Kid. We're doing the letter O, and so you'll see that Oswald is the new Super Kid, and he likes odd animals. He'll draw them, he does different crafts with them, and so they're still working on that book awareness. We have another wordless book that we work on, and then we will be discussing different handwriting and phonics skills with letter O. Through math, we're doing counting order, making 5, understanding, and it should say 0, and review for chapter 1 test. You'll see that in the math that I gave you, kind of just an idea of what the test looks like for them to review, so they're not going into the test kind of not knowing those questions. For social studies in religion, we're talking about peace. So we're discussing peace, how can we bring peace to the world, and we're making peace rocks and pinwheels that we'll work with our 8th grade buddies. And in IXL, if there's any skills that are highlighted with a star, those are the things that you will work on. Next up is, on the back of this paper, there's just a review of what we learned with our Cass, our Super Kid, who goes over letter C. Your reading log this week will have C is for, which means My Little Book of C. You'll read it every night so they can color this, color the crab and trace the word crab. So each book, each day you can make sure that either they read it to you or you read it with them. And any other books, the comments are helpful. I write notes back to you if you have any questions or whatnot. And I also gave you just some resources on the back if you would like them. Things that they could be reading, online tools. Starfall is a good one. Storyline Online is a way for, if you want to have them look at somebody else reading the book, they have people reading the book. And if you have any resources that you wanted to share that you used, you can put that there. But just in terms of the book, they will color each of the pages and practice that turning the pages themselves and tracking. So I'm sorry I covered it up, but so they'll do this each night, and it should be the first one. You'll have them read to them. C is for cat. They'll trace cat, and they can color the cat. So making sure that they trace the word so they know that that is a word. C is for crab. So they'll trace crab and color the crab. You can talk about how C is a letter and these are words in a sentence. That's good development for them to know the difference between letters and words in sentences. C is for crayon, so they'll color that. And then you'll continue through the different things. So it's practicing things that begin with the k sound as well as different word order. For Monday night, you'll see that it's alphabet sequencing. They do fill in the missing letter. They've done this before. It's just another review. So they're really practicing what comes before and after the different letters. On the back, you'll see 5 questions just to work on reading them what the directions are and for them to answer the question fully. So if I've got 2 frogs right here, I need to show all the ways to show 2. So would they circle in one? No, not necessarily. They would circle in the 2, both 2. So they can't just do 1, they'll get half of it wrong. They need to know that 2 is said in both number and words, so they needed to circle both. Same thing for this second question. For this, you need to read the directions for them because it'll say how many muffins are on the plate, and they would know that there are no muffins on the plate, so that would be 0. For this, you have 1 dog, so they would go ahead and write 1. And you can help them if they're not, if they have different number, if they're writing the number, you know, from the bottom up, you want to remind them to write it top to bottom, as well as how to form those different letters. So if I'm writing 4, you can say down and over and down some more. Continuing on for Tuesday night's homework, you're having them trace the O's and write the O's by themselves. Trace the O's, write the O's by themselves. Trace the O's, write the O's by themselves. And you'll see that they have out and octopus as some of the things that begin with the off sound. Now they use a term here, you'll be reading the directions to them. Circle all the sets that show 3. So they would circle both the sets of 3. They would circle this one and this one all around, knowing that this is not a set of 3. For the blocks, they would be writing how many of each. So if there are 2 here, I'd write 2. And you'd finish all of that. So there's 1 here, 5 here, counting each one. So there's 4 here and there's 3 here. For 8, you're going to put these numbers in order. So I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So making sure that they're in order. The next one is they're doing lowercase letters. If they're having a really difficult time with this, you can either write the letters in yellow and they can trace them, or you can have them write it in uppercase, just whatever way to practice writing each of the letters. On the back, you'll see another example of answering the questions. They need to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 questions. Are the numbers in counting order? Do we count 2, 3, 4? Yes or no? Are the numbers in counting order 4, 3, 5? That would be no. Are the numbers in order 3, 4, 5? That would be yes. So they're counting above, just starting at 1. For number 10, it says 4 children each have 1 doll. This may be very tricky for them. Draw counters to show the dolls. So you can have them, you can make a 10 frame at the top for them. You can have them draw the dolls, but they're going to need to be showing you that there's 4 counters because there's 4 dolls, and then they would need to write the number 4. And they can also write the dolls below if you wanted to, if that helps remind them. But this is kind of part of their work that we're talking about, 2-part questions. So, you know, that this is one that we kind of want to review for them so they know the types of things that they should be saying. For 11, it says, Anna put no counters in a 5 frame. How many counters are put in the 5 frame? So they should know that no or none means 0. For this last one, it says, there are 3 carrots in the bag, and it's really light, so you might want to help them retrace a bag. But there are 3 carrot sticks in a bag. Joey eats all 3 carrot sticks. How many carrots are in the bag? So they can draw 3 carrots and know that Joey ate them, so there are no more left, and that would be 0. For here, that's another sequencing thing. So what comes next? I'll remind you that there are 5 of them, and they do not start off where they left. So A, B, C, D, E, F, and that stops right there. E, what comes after E, F, G, H, I, J. Sometimes they get confused if they think J, K, it goes right is the next one. So making sure that they restart at that next one. And the last page, if I can turn to it, is just the last part of the review for the math. And there are just 3 questions, but this one tends to be a little tricky if you may not know how to tell them the question. They've been doing this, but it says show 2 ways to make 5. Color some boxes red, color some boxes yellow, write the numbers. So you may want to get know that counters are circles. So if I have 5, I need to do some red, so that would be 3 red and some yellow. So I might get my yellow crayon, and if I've got some yellow, I would say this is how many are red, 3, how many are yellow, 2. Another review is write the number that comes, so the next one we would do it a different way. So if I want to do all of them are red, then I can do 5, and how many are yellow would be 0. 2 different ways to show how to make 5. So this one question is 2 questions about how we make 5. The next thing is 14. So write the number that comes after 5 in counting order. Draw to show the numbers. So what comes after 4 would be 5, and they would draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counters. Counters are just another way to say circles. And that's it. So that's the homework for the week, and good luck.